Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. I almost thought it was Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. I hope everybody had a really great extended weekend and they were able to enjoy some of it. I am just about to head into work a little bit early because I spent the weekend working on Apple-themed activities for my kids this week, and I have to run in and print them out and laminate them before class starts. So I've got to get going. But once I get to work, I will show you everything that I've got planned for today and for probably most of this week with my kids. So I'll see you guys when I get there. Here is the game that I made over the weekend that I'm going to use today. It's called Rotten Apples, and we just have some apples with some worms in them and then just some regular apples. And it's just a reinforcement game, but it's super easy to do with kids that have multiple goals in their groups, or if you're working on articulation and language in one group, because it's just the premise of the game, so they have to do something related to their objective, either say a word, put it in a sentence, whatever the case may be, follow a direction, and then they get to pick a card, and I'm going to laminate them and cut them out, and they all go face down. And then if they pick an apple, a regular apple, they get to put it either in their pile, or I think what I'm going to do is roll down sandwich bags, those brown sandwich bags, and make it kind of like an apple bin. So they're going to try to collect as many apples as they can, but if they draw a worm apple, it's a rotten apple, and they have to put all their apples back and start over. So it's just like a fun game. It's going to keep them motivated. Most of my kids like that challenge and like not knowing what's coming next as far as the game goes, so I think this will be really good, and it's fall themed because it's got apples and a really angry worm, which kind of looks a little funny. But I'm going to laminate these and then cut them out. I don't need them for my first group, but I do need them for this afternoon today. So I've got that. And then I also found this at Walmart over the weekend, and it's one of those letter boards, and I'm not totally in love with it just because it's white on white, but it actually ended up being a better deal because it's a bigger board. I think this one's 11 by 16, and the other ones that were $10 at like Michael's and Target were 12 by 12. So I like this one because I think I'm going to put it on top of the filing cabinet where that clear thing is, because I don't end up putting stuff in that clear thing. So we shall see. I'm going to open it up and see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. These are just all the letters, and then the board itself is just white on white, which I guess we can kind of deal with. It's not bad. And then I know Target sells like the cute headers and things like that, so I think we'll just stick with this one for now because it was cheap and it came with all of the pieces. Hanging it there for now. I'm not sure if I'm totally feeling it, but it works for right now. And then I ended up putting the hardboard paper all sitting down here where most of my kids can see it when they're sitting. So now I'm going to get these things and start cutting them out. To go grab my first group. I didn't get all of my apples cut out, but I got a good portion of them done. So I will finish cutting out the rest probably on my lunch break because I don't need them until the afternoon, like I said. And then this is what I'm going to use today with my little friends in my morning groups. A lot of them are working on yes/no questions, so I just pulled out my yes/no task cards. and they're super little. They're preschoolers, so these will be perfect for them. And also some of my kids in higher grades that are just a little bit lower. A lot of my students this year have answering yes, no question goals, so these will be perfect. This clip art is actually from My Cute Graphics. I didn't make the clip art for these. This was before I figured out that I could make my own, but she has some really cute clip art anyway, so I definitely recommend that you check her out if you are in need of some quick clip art. But I'm gonna go get my friends right now, and I will check in with you guys probably around lunchtime. I have a eligibility meeting at 10 o'clock, so we will see how that goes, and then after that I have one more group and then lunch, so I'll check in around then. Hey guys, so I just wanted to give you an update. I have a few more sessions today with some friends, but I broke out the bags for my apple picking, and they work super well and they're super cute with the kids. So this is just pretty much my setup. That this last group that I just had, it was just 2 kids here today, but I have my pile of cards and then they just get to pick it. And I definitely recommend doing it on the cardstock, because otherwise you'd be able to see through, and then they would just avoid the ones with the worms. It's always harder when they can tell which card they're going to get. So this is just my setup, and then like I said, we were doing it with this last group was articulation, and then at the end of today I'm actually going to do my yes/no cards with the student, and for each one that they answer correctly, they're going to get to pick a card and put it in their apple basket. So once again, you could totally use it for articulation or language. It works perfectly for both, and it's just so far been a really great reinforcer. The kids love to know or try to figure out when they're going to find the grumpy worm, and it's always like a huge thing. And I usually, for my older kids, I let them hide it. Oh, this one was poorly laminated. I let them hide the worm once they get it, as long as they don't put it on the top. There are a few rules, but my younger kids, I just shuffle them up. And for most of them, I think I put 2 worms in, so you definitely don't need to use all of the worms. But I would kind of recommend putting more than that in, especially if you have a bigger group of more than 2 or 3 kids, just because it kind of keeps the game going and it keeps it fun, and it doesn't get complacent with always getting perfect apples. And it also kind of gives everybody a turn to get a worm, rather than perhaps just one child during a session that has to lose all their cards, because that's never fun. But so far it's a hit. I can't wait to use this for the rest of the week with my kiddos. They seem to, like I said, really like it, and they're responding well to it, especially my older kids who aren't necessarily motivated by things like this. It's just working out really well for them, so I'm super happy about that. So far that's where we're at today with that. Like I said, it's been a super big hit, so I'm happy about it. I ended up not doing my speech homework this week, just because since we did have off yesterday, it kind of throws off my kids that normally get seen yesterday, because I have a ton of kids that I see on Mondays. So I'm foregoing that for another week, and it'll also give me a chance to bulk up the homework assignments and really kind of explain it to them. But I will be sending that out next week. I just thought it would be too much to do this week and have kids be confused about when they had to bring it back. So better to just start on a fresh week when we have all 5 days. And my eligibility today went really well. The teachers were really supportive of everything, and all of our data matched. Like whatever I was seeing, they were seeing, which translated to the observation that I did last week. So it all worked really nicely together, which I'm super happy about. And moving on from that, I'm pretty sure that's about it for today so far. I don't think I'm going to stay late today, just because I can do the work that I have to do at home, and I really have a lot of work to do at home, like around the house. So I'm thinking that as long as I'm prepped for the rest of this week, which I think I am, but I'm just going to double check and make sure, I'm just going to kind of head off and get done what I need to get done, because I keep forgetting that it's Tuesday, and I keep thinking that I have 4 days, and I only have 3. So I have to prep for that. I also have to prep for an IAP meeting that is upcoming this Friday. I think for right now, I don't have any other IEPs coming up until October-ish, which is great because it gives me a chance to really evaluate the kids and see where they're at and get a couple of sessions under my belt with them before I have to start making recommendations for the next year. But I do want to get those started early and, like I said, just kind of keep them on my radar. And I think I have 3 in October and then into November and December. So things are looking up, and I can definitely get enough information about them to make accurate decisions, which is always a bonus. I hate when I have to come in and I don't get to see kids and I have to like write IEPs before I see them based on their skills from a few months ago, because so much can change over time that it just seems like a real frustrating thing. Also, I totally meant to show this before, but my friend got me this amazing mug that says "Witch Please" on it, and she said she thought of me when she saw it, and it is giant, and I am so in love. I'm so ready for Halloween, and I'm definitely going to be using this well into the winter months, but this is going to be my new official mug. Also, I can have all of the coffee in it. It's giant, and I love it. It is the end of the day right now. We just got finished with dismissal, and I'm setting up for tomorrow and just kind of getting everything ready and out that I'm gonna do. So we're still going to be working with the Apple game, so I left that out. My yes/no cards I'm doing with some other kids, and then I'm bringing Mr. Potato Head along with me to the other preschool, and we're going to try the app. So I have the one app charging. Or, I mean, the iPad is charging, so that this way Peekaboo Barn is all ready. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make sure that I was ready for tomorrow and kind of the rest of the week going forward. It hasn't started raining yet, so we'll see. It says it's supposed to start raining in like 10 minutes. Maybe I'll get to go home and do my lawn. Probably not. But I will see you guys tomorrow bright and early because I do want to finish cutting out the rest of my apples. Good morning, everybody. I am slightly on the struggle bus today. I have come down with a cold, and I thought I was fighting it off, but I don't think so. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I feel like my voice sounds horrible, and I kind of feel like a hot mess. So I'm going to try to get into work as early as possible. It's a little bit later than I would have normally liked to leave, but I was still going this morning. I have to pack up for my sessions this morning at the other preschool. It is a gross and rainy day, so I'm hoping the weather holds up at least until I get back from driving around, because it's no fun walking in the rain. So I'm gonna head on in right now, and I'll update you guys once I get there. So I can't remember if I had showed you guys the Peekaboo Barn app that I'm gonna be using today, but it's just this guy right here. I don't know if you can hear it. It has a little piggy noise, and then you can have them figure out what animal it is or take some guesses, and then they can request, and you can say open, and you tap it. It tells them what it is, and then you close it, and it'll change it to another animal. So it's super cute, and it keeps going until you tap it. So it's really great at the wait time and requesting, and you know, using those vocabulary words such as open, close, more, identifying the vocabulary. You could talk about the barn, the colors, the sky, that they're on a farm. There's just tons of stuff you can do with it. And they are really cute. So that's what I'm going to end up using today. And it's finally charged, so it is at 100%, which thank goodness for that. And I'm also going to be using my yes/no cards again, as well as my apples, and then my Mr. Potato Head silly suitcase. This was here when I got here, so I didn't buy that one, but it seems to work pretty well. And I think that's pretty much what I'm using all morning. I have little kids, I think most of today, the little guys. Yeah, this afternoon I have 2 groups with older kids that are in like 2nd and 3rd grade and 4th grade, and then back to a 1st grader. So most of my day is just with the littles, which I feel like all of my days are lately. But I'm going to go get started and start getting the paperwork ready for today, kind of so I can have a jump on it, because I am really bad with that. I'm actually working on new log notes. Here are the old label log notes that I've been using. I'm changing them for this year though, because like I said, I wanted to put a grid on there, and this way I can kind of just keep track of the things on the actual log note without having to put it on a post-it. I also took out voice because just for where I am, nobody has come across in the 4 years that I've been here with voice issues, so Artic language and fluency is what I left it as. So I was able to move that up. And then you just put the student's name, the date, you can circle 17 or 18, group, how many kids were in the group or individual, what we were working on, the time, the goal that we were addressing, the number, and then just like a brief description of the activity. And then for the initial and Medicaid date, and then also my accuracy and percentage box. And then I'm also making something for prompts and cues. I want to make it a little bit more, I guess, comprehensive, because a lot of times I check off visual, verbal, and tactile for most of my kids, especially this year, but I'm not saying if it's the whole time or if it's just some of the time that I had to do it, and I usually have to end up putting like an asterisk and say like 0% because they required a full model prompt after each time and wouldn't imitate on their own. So I do want to change that a little bit. So this is what I've got so far. I do have to like fix this because those boxes are not even, and that's bothering me. But hopefully I'll have these for next week. I think this week I'm still going to run on the old ones just because of time. But this is what's in the works for the future. And what I do is I just print them on label pages. I got these off of Amazon. They're the press supply, 1,000 labels, 100 sheets. You get 10 per sheet, and they are, I want to say that they're 2 by 4 inches. So it's just enough, and then what I end up doing is I peel them off because it's way easier than having like all of the kids' pages. So I just have a whole page of the label notes, and I put each kid's name on one, and then at the end of the week I go into their folders and I have a grid for them, and I peel off the notes and I stick them on, and it's so much easier than trying to shuffle through pages and making sure I have the right page that I'm on for the right kid. That's just too much string session. So I really like this method. I didn't make this up. I found this on the internet 2 or 3 years ago, I think, like right after I first started, because my first year I was handwriting everything on each child's individual log note page and trying to shuffle through. I was always putting the wrong info and the wrong data on, you know, the pages, because I was just trying to keep up in the session and also take the data on the right page. So this is way, way easier. But I really like it also because you can edit it, and I can tweak it and change it around as I need it, depending on what I'm working on. So that's what I'm going to keep working on this morning. I have about 15 minutes until I have to get my first little group, and then I can head out into the other preschool. So I will check in with you guys later. So goes the cleaning up. The apples were a huge success today. I'm super excited. We're going to keep playing with them tomorrow. Just got to put them in the bags. And these yes no cards came in super handy since a lot of my kids are working on yes no activities. Okay, so it's the end of the day and I am just about to get out of here. I'm still feeling pretty rough, so I'm just going to try to get home and have some soup and hopefully shake this cold, whatever it is, because I'm not about that life. And we are going to start fresh tomorrow. We do have a few kids tomorrow and then some more paperwork. And I have to prep for an IEP on Friday. But that should be it. I'm going to, like I said, continue with my Apple game that seems to be a huge hit. and you can use it for artic, language, asking questions. I used the companion cards for my yes-no questions for some of my kids today. I did that for yes-no questions in general, and then also grammatically correct sentences. I pulled out the cards with actions on them, and I had the students complete a full sentence for me, and then we discussed if it was grammatically correct or not, or if it was a silly sentence or not. So it's super helpful. Like I said, everybody's really into it, so I love when I can find an activity that everybody loves and motivates them to play the whole session, because it makes getting therapy and data so much easier, and I'm loving the way it came out. I'm still working on my new data sheets. I've been working on those. Word is being finicky though, so I had to start from scratch, so hopefully I will have those done by Friday so I can print them out for next week, and I think that'll also help with my quest to take better data and have better progress monitoring this year. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday. It's Thursday. I am feeling slightly better today, so I'm optimistic that I will continue to feel good throughout the day and hopefully shake this cold, whatever it is, in time for the weekend, because I don't have time to be sick. Today we are going to head in and I'm going to finish up some of those log notes that I had to do. I finally tweaked it towards the end of yesterday, right before I left, and I'm hoping that if I could get them printed out today, I can start using them, because why not? I really like the new setup much, much better than the ones that I had last year, which are the ones that I'm currently using. So I'm going to see if I can get those done before we start our sessions. I think I showed you yesterday that we're just going to keep going with the apple picking theme. I've started kind of mentally planning some things to do for next week with the apples. With my one group over at the other preschool that I'm working at, I'm going to do kind of like an apple decoupage, where they just have a picture of an apple, and then I have some red crepe paper and tissue paper that we can kind of glue on there to make it a little craft, and we can work on requesting and more and colors, some shapes, pretty much anything. And those are really fun and kind of all-inclusive for the group to do. Today with my two friends over there, I'm going to bring back my iPad and probably my potato head and just kind of see if that'll work, and then we'll see how we go from there. That one little guy that I've been working with, we're really not getting too far. He's having a lot of trouble just with basic things. He just doesn't want to be there, so he just cries the whole session, which is so, so sad. But I thought the iPad might cheer him up, because I did hear that that was something that he really liked at home, Mom had said. But yesterday it didn't work so well. It could have just been, though, because he was already too worked up from the other things that they were doing that kind of upset him. So we are going to try again today. But I'm going to get in there now so I can get started before my first session today. I'll see you guys later. I finally finished my new log notes, and this is what they look like. I ended up, let's see if I can stand this up. I ended up just bumping everything up, so the student's name, the date, the group number, or if they're an individual session, artic language fluency, the time, the goal that we worked on, brief description of the activity, my initials / the date that I built it into Medicaid, and then my accuracy percentage. I did my check boxes, which now that I'm looking at it still aren't super even, but that's okay. And then I can put the percentage down here. And then my prompts and my cues, these are, see if it'll focus. Probably not. There we go. I have visual, verbal, tactile, and then just if they're minimum or maximum prompts. So this way I can kind of gauge when I'm going through how the student's actually doing, you know, if they're getting 80% because I had to do hand-over-hand tactile prompts for every single one, or if they're getting 80% because they needed just like 1 or 2 cues. So these are the ones that I'm going to start using. I think these provide a lot more information. Also, sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth because I have taken to coughing up a storm, and we can't have that. But like I said, these are the ones I'm going to start using, and I'm going to go forward with using today, and then hopefully it works out. There should still be enough room for everything. I don't foresee there being any issues. This I am a little concerned about because, or I guess not concerned, but just kind of wondering, because this only gives you a certain amount of tick boxes. So obviously there's going to be more than, like, more trials than what is on here, but I guess I'll just choose a time and say, okay, these next whatever are going to count for the session. And that's how I'm going to end up dealing with that, just this way, so it's not like I'm only giving them 20 opportunities, or however many this is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that'll work out a little bit better, because I usually do, 100, 150, especially my Arctic groups, like just for drilling. I'll have them say a word 3 times each. Each one of those counts as a separate one, or I'll kind of give them a sound-loaded sentence, and they'll have to repeat it, and that'll have at least, 3, 4, 5 instances of whatever sound they're working on. So like I said, I'll just end up taking a chunk of that during the session, whatever 20 that I deem to use, and then we will just base off their accuracy off of that percentage. So that's how that'll work. I am going to fill these out for my groups this morning, and then I am going to prep all of the rest of my stuff for today in case there's anything that I didn't take out yesterday. It is the end of the day now, and I'm actually going to help out with dismissal today because one of the teachers had to leave early. I feel like I'm losing my voice, but we shall see. I still don't feel 100%, but I feel better than I did yesterday, which is ironic since I sound so terrible. But I'm going to go help out with dismissal here in a little bit, and then I'm going to get home because I have some more chores to do, and hopefully drink lots and lots of tea so I don't lose my voice, because that would be really bad. I don't know how I would do therapy with no voice. And I'll probably end it here for the day. Tomorrow I'm just going to really work on some screenings and some lesson planning, and really planning out my week from now on. So I will take you guys along for that, but I will see you guys tomorrow.